when you used to be at primary school. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Miss Smith, and all that. Anyway, good morning from Chaz. It's the West Ham Minds channel, as you fully well know. It's the West Ham Transfer News Show, as you fully well know and well aware of and familiar with. I didn't do a show at the weekend. I was away doing a few things with my mates, and then the Summerville news broke. And I did a quick video outside where I was, and then but I didn't do an official one. So this is kind of my little catch up, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a catch up. So you all well know. So yeah, Saturday, Leeds United left winger Crysencio Summerville signed for our beloved West Ham United. 22 years old. 5-year deal with a 1-year option. That's a huge, big deal. 6 years in total. Spent 4 years at Leeds, where he top scored during last season. Subsequently crowned the second tier's player of the season. Was also the Leeds United's player of the season. And you know we've been speaking about him running up to the deal being signed. The actual amount has not been disclosed. Leeds United have respectively agreed with West Ham that don't talk about the amount of money. That's probably to do with Leeds don't want anyone to find out how much cash they got, I suppose. I don't know. But it's probably in the region of 25 million plus add-ons every one. And like I said, he's kind of what we've needed on that left side of the wing. He fits the J-Lo 4-2-3-1 new pressing tactics, new attacking tactics, formations. Really, so that's going to slot in really, really well, and that's what he's been doing for Leeds United. Exactly playing in that position in a similar setup. So going to be very, very easy for him to kind of settle in. He's played in the league. He's used to the country and has played 20 odd games in the Premier League a couple of years ago. And I think he'll be a starter. I think he's going to be head of the Legion, the Brazilian signing Guillermo. Not quite sure what the future holds for Cornet. Paqueta, I think, like we talked on my tactics show, will go back to being a traditional CDM alongside Alvarez or Rodríguez, who's also set to sign later on today. We'll talk about that a bit later on, really. And I will be doing a separate tactics show once the one or two announcements from the club today have come in, really. So that's kind of on Summerville. So yeah, welcome Crysencio Summerville. Hopefully, it looks like sort of checks have been done on his background, his personality. He seems to be a very, very good kid, professional kid. Gets on with his teammates, really. So really, really happy. And J-Lo had a good discussion with him. Said, I've been watching you. You know, I've come up against you when he was at Wolves, I think, and he's been keeping an eye on him. And he said it's really, really good to speak to J-Lo, the manager. Very, very clear, concise discussions, very open, honest discussions, which Summerville was very appreciative of. And yeah, exactly know a player where he stands, where he's going to play for you, that kind of thing, really. So welcome, Mr. Summerville. We wish you the best of luck with our club, and we hope you score lots of goals, set up lots of goals, and maybe take the odd penalty, because he's a regular penalty taker with Leeds United. So that's another one on the list, really. So, like I said, Max Kilman was captain of Wolves, so we bring a bit of leadership there, and Summerville comes in, really. So that's kind of that. I just remembered something talking about Max Kilman. So the 3-1 defeat to Wolves on late Friday, wasn't it? Early Sat. Again, I didn't really watch it. I saw the highlights, and it was bad. It was really, really bad. And I know that I said that I don't care about the score lines, but I do care about the performances and how the players are getting on. What kind of formations are we doing? Are we looking fairly slick? But it was bad. Bear in mind that most of the players that have played in these 1 or 2, 3 preseason games are not really going to be starting in the starting lineup for the new manager. He just wants to look at everyone, give them a fair chance, a fair look, and a lot of those are just not up for it. Whether I know Zuma didn't play, but sort of Zuma's kind of one of the stories that broke yesterday or the day before, saying that the club have told him to go look for a new club. And we've been, when we've spoken about this, the manager, his thoughts, his philosophy, his tactics. I've told all of this to you guys that Zuma hasn't got a future. We got to get rid of him. Gerd, I'd like to as well, but then again, let's give him one final chance. But he hasn't looked didn't look good on that last game. Max Kilman didn't look good, to be fair. Five at the back, three centre backs. I don't know what that's all about, but good finish by Antonio, but defending absolutely atrocious, absolute dog shit. But I'm still feeling good, and and you guys just keep in there. It needs a year to settle for everything, but we are heading in the right direction. I'm very, very confident about that. All the players coming in are the right players. They fit in what Tim Steiten and J Lo want to do, which is a mix of good experienced players and youngsters, so they both work well together. And the experienced lads coming in can teach the youngsters a little. It's a nice bit of a blend, a bit of leaders here and there, a bit of European experience here and there, a World Cup winning experience there, I say here, alongside the young, exciting talents of Summerville. Hopefully, the Brazilian lad Guilherme. You see what I mean? It's all a bit of everything, and it's a long-term plan. So I know Jolo's only here for 2 years, definitely. Then we'll see what happens with the third-year option, but 2 years is long term in football, isn't it, as far as I'm concerned? So stick with the project, stick with Jazz's positivity and belief in this project, everyone. So that's kind of on Summerville. Now on to the next news, which is Niclas Füllkrug, the Borussia Dortmund German a target man striker, 31 years old, very, very good striker, very, very good in the air, very mobile for a big man, and he'll fit this model really, really well. Again, I'm going to do a separate show on the tactics, and I'll explain then how he will settle in and how the team could be looking, really. But again, he'll slot in, he'll play up front by himself largely. Replace Antonio, and it'll be good. I know the age is a bit more than what we like, but I think again, when a player like that is available and ticks so many boxes, you got to go for him. What's the deal? 27 million? Yeah, it's a tad bit than what I wanted to pay, but listen, I don't hold the purse strings. All I can say is whether the signing's good or not, and some signings hopefully will get a little bit cheaper and we can weigh it up, and one or two players will leave, like we'll mention Zuma. We're going to mention another player in this show later on as well, really. So Füllkrug, all the medical tests, Fabrizio Romano saying being confirmed. Should be official today. Signing a sort of 3-year deal, option of 4 perhaps. We'll see how that goes. But really looking forward to seeing him. He's had a great couple of years. Played in the Champions League final. Got a couple of goals at the Euros. Very, very good pedigree. First time playing outside Germany. Hopefully that shouldn't really affect him too much, really. So that's kind of on that one. I think there was one more piece on Füllkrug I wanted to show you guys. Provided 15 goals, 10 assists for Dortmund last season. Has got 106 goals during his career in Germany. He'll provide a much-needed goal threat, physical presence to complement the trio of Bowen, Kudos, and Summerville, as well as Paqueta. Like I said, it's building in nicely, isn't it? Defense is a huge concern, you know that, but obviously they can't do everything in one window. They are trying, so just bear with them on that one. But up front, looking really, really good, and they're looking to add goals to this side and get back to European football as quick as we can, really, on that one, really. On to the other breaking news. Well, not really breaking now, but you guys already know that the other boy, the surprising name that came out of nowhere on Friday. I think ex-employee knew about this name for many, many weeks, but out of respect to the club, he was told to, if you can keep it quiet, a lot of clubs are going to be after him. We're working in the background, and X didn't mention anything until it was pretty apparent that, terms had been agreed, medical was going to be done, and that's kind of when that kind of news broke on Friday and Saturday, really. So he's completed a medical test. His medical was a little bit behind Füllkrug, but it's all been done. Expected to sign 2-year contract today, and hopefully that could be announced today as well, or jointly, or tomorrow. But 30 years old, World Cup winning, 4 years at Real Betis. I then played in Mexico with Alvarez, and this all goes back to my tactics show, which I will talk about later on, saying a lot of players, I couldn't see how they're going to fit into J-Lo's sort of new kind of look, what he wants to do, and that was obviously Ward-Prowse concern for Gerd, Zuma, Kufal, Suchek. A lot of these players will not fit, and perhaps that's what we're seeing in pre-season. We're trying to play a high line, trying to play slightly differently, need more technically ball possession based players, which we haven't got, and that's why kind of we're pretty open and conceding a lot of goals still, unfortunately. But all these players that are coming in will fit the way J-Lo wants to play, so really, really good to see him come in. It's a free transfer, Barcelona were about to get the deal done. Something happened, so you can see the pedigree already. And again, it's a bit of a pull from the manager. J-Lo definitely knows South American market, Spain, Portugal already, where he spent a lot of time. They know him and they're happy to sign for him. They got a relationship with him, and this all helps really. So again, it's another thing. I mean, signing 3 players in 2-3 days shows you that the acquisition, the sort of transfer, Tim Stein and J-Lo team transfer strategy, where it's going so smoothly, like a lovely, well-oiled machine and train with no interruptions from Sullivan, no interruptions from David Moyes, and it's going nice. Many targets in many positions, and things are getting done fairly swiftly. I know we had that bit of a gap between chasing Duran. I mean, going back to Duran, again, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It could be. The only way I can see it happening, like I keep saying, is as the window gets closer and closer to ending, then perhaps West Ham can give Villa 5 to 10 million up front with a agreement at the end of the year. We'll give you the 25 other that you want. And then he comes in, and then we'll see what happens. That's the only thing I can see on that one. Let's move on to the other kind of new news. Armin Souček, Kafal, they have looked dreadful in pre-season, and he's limited in his ability in terms of retaining possession, passing it short, passing it long, tackling. I never used to see much tackling from him. He's physically, stamina-wise, is a very strong player. Rarely gets injured. Doesn't really get tired, plays a lot of games end to end, hasn't missed many during his stint at West Ham, box to box. I get that, but I don't really see him break up play. Rice used to do a lot of that on it by himself, and Alvarez is doing that since then. I don't see him as a breaking up play, physically strong CDM. He's a box to box just in terms of just running and getting goals sort of towards the end of the game at the far post, back post. Limited in terms of what J-Lo wants from someone, and he doesn't fit. I think we gave him a newish deal a year ago, so hopefully he can go with my blessings. I don't piss about when I decide on someone. He's done a lot for West Ham for the price he came at, and he's a good lad. But it's time to move on to everyone, isn't it? So he's been linked with Mourinho, who's managing in Turkey, trying to sign lots of players. Mourinho was apparently also linked with Rodríguez, funny enough, but we got in there ahead of him, really. So for me, like Zuma and Souček, he's one of those, I can't see a future for them, and we're spending reasonable amounts of money in the window. We need some money back, balance the books. Let's fill in the squad with people that we're really going to use, really. And Danny Ings is going to be concerned. We really need to get Zuma and Danny Ings off the book. It's just not going to fit the way we play, but it's getting very hard to get rid of Danny Ings. Worst case scenario, if we can get that another striker, and he's probably get him on loan and supplement his salary of 150k a week. That's kind of all I can think of on that, really. So that's the main bit of news before West Ham officially make the announcement on Füllkrug and Rodríguez, and then we'll perhaps just do a little welcome quick video. But the main one, hopefully, I'm looking to do will be a tactics one. That probably come out later on today, maybe this evening, really. So that's it from me. Like I said, keep watching, keep subscribing. We're ever so close to 3,000 sort of subs now, everyone. So soon, when we get that'll be a really nice milestone for me, really. And yeah, hopefully catch up with you quite soon then. Take care. Have a great night.